Hey guys, welcome back to Following the Dopamine with Tasha. Today we are making Little Nightmares 2 Diorama. Scratch build. Completely scratch built. Guys, I love this game. I loved the first one, obviously. I built a diorama for that one too. And now this is the room. So this is kind of part of the playthrough. This is the room that I'm recreating. There was a lot of choices. There was a lot of cool areas in the game that I was like, ooh, I want to make that. But that room in particular, I don't know what it was. The creepy teddy bears. Yeah, had to do it. Oh, and that's Mono. So that's the new character in the game. All right, Mono wears a paper bag on his head. And that's fine. I mean, sometimes I want to do that too, so I totally get it. And Six is in this game too, and they're like together. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to say it's a cool game, and you ought to check it out. But yeah, and actually there's a Little Nightmares 3 coming out too. So I'll probably make one for that too. Can't help myself. It's just super cool. Anyway, so here we are. I'm sculpting again. And while I am still somewhat new to sculpting, I feel like I'm getting much better. Yeah. And I also figured out that the Sculpey I was using prior to like the last one. Anyways, I changed it. I'm using Super Sculpey now. So it's like a much easier clay to work with, and it's a lot easier to smooth out, which, as you guys may recall, in my last couple of sculpting videos, that was my main problem. Like, I was struggling, and it didn't matter what kind of tools I used. Like, it was just not working. Well, it turns out it was the clay I was using. So don't use that clay. Use this clay, Super Sculpey, okay? Just, that's all I'm going to say about that, okay? Anyway, so here we are. We're making Mono. And honestly, I love this character in the game. He's super sweet, super protective over Six. I just love it. Yeah, really cool. But he had to be tiny, teeny tiny. And guys, I struggle with sculpting teeny tiny things. I mean, yeah, it's hard. I shouldn't say that. My channel's all about making miniatures. But whatever, I'm being honest. The tinier, the harder, guys. And I think this time I'm sure they make lots of different sizes of armature wire, but the armature wire I have is like kind of too thick. So I ended up using gardening wire. I mean, I don't know. Is there a rule against that? I don't think so. Let me know if there is. But I used gardening wire and I just twisted it, but I was able to make my little armature a lot smaller. And as long as the wires were twisted, the clay sticks better. So I'm just saying, you can use gardening wire too, all right? It's all about it. It's not quite as bendy as like actual armature wire. But, I mean, I don't know. I did fine. It was fine. Worked great. Yeah. So here we are. We're making the head. And I decided to make his head a square just to make my life easier. And then I just put a paper bag around it and poked eyeballs in it. That's pretty much it. Yep. Paper bag. Yeah. Oh, and we baked both separate. And then obviously glue together. Yay, Mono's done. Woohoo. Moving on. Okay. So we're making Six again. Because I made Six before in the first Little Nightmares. Anyways. So I thought, all right, here's my opportunity. I'm going to make Six better. And the first time I made her, I didn't give her a face. Because it was hard. And I might have been a little lazy. I don't know. I didn't. Okay? All right? And this time, I'm like, no. Six deserves a face. So Six got a face. And honestly, I didn't think anybody would notice. I mean, I made the hood so big that you couldn't really see what was going on. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This time, I gave Six a face because Six deserves a face. And right now, we're working on the most important thing about Six, and that is the yellow raincoat. Yeah. And also making sure my head is in the camera at all times so you can see nothing. Yeah. Sorry. Very, very sorry. I'm still trying to figure out the best camera angles for this sculpting stuff. I used to like angle it so that it was, but everything gets like from the, it's hard to explain, guys. I promise I'll try to do better next time. Anyways, okay, 6 is done, but now we got to put, so in the scene, 6 is like carrying around these toys. She's trying to tell Mono stuff, you know, and so she's carrying around toys. And so I decided that she needed to be carrying one of these toys. And so 6 has already been baked, but the toy not baked. And I do eventually pull it apart and bake it separately, but it was just easier to, yeah, so that happened. Okay, here we are. We're making creepy teddy bear number 1. Actually, it's the only teddy bear. The other ones are not bears, okay? And they're, the one's a dog, and then the other one's a really creepy bunny rabbit. And guys, honestly, I had a really hard time finding good pictures with detail. Like I could see the bear's like the easiest one because sitting on the table, lights coming down, you can see a lot of the little details, all right? But as far as the other two that I make, the dog and the bunny rabbit, I mean, I had to have, it was like, I don't know, I made stuff up, okay? And I did the best that I could, okay? Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, so, yep, here's Teddy bear. And see, I'm using armature wire here, like a twisted armature wire. See? Yeah, you got to twist it. It holds so much better if you twist the wires, guys. And I've learned that. See? I learned it because I made a lot of mistakes. And if you try to stick clay to a single little wire, it don't stick. I mean, it don't. It's awful. I mean, you could put glue on there and then maybe stick it. I think I've seen people do that. But I don't know. Just seems like an extra step and seems silly. So yeah, I decided that my creepy teddy bear needed some abs. Yeah, and I decided to add a little extra clay because it was boring, and then and do all of that. Yes, looks great. Oh, and then this is the little scratchy tool. Yeah. So that last set of clay crafting tools that I bought, I think I got them from Michael's, maybe Hobby Lobby, can't remember. Anyways, that last little, it came with the scratchy tool, and it's great for making the fur texture. Yeah. Oh yeah, see, there's a dog. Is a dog? I think it's a dog. I mean, you guys tell me. It looks like a dog, right? With its head cut open. So I made a dog. Yeah. Even if it's not a dog, it's fine. Like, it can go both ways. Anyways, so this little puppy dog had its tongue hanging out. It looks like it had a really rough day at the office. Like, it is just wiped out, and it's got, you know, a big old rip tear in its head. Yeah, and it's got, like, stuffing coming out. And I just thought, this be fun. This is going to be cool. I like creepy stuff, all right? It's fine. It doesn't say anything about my personality. So, yeah, cut a hole in the head, fixed that up, made some eyeballs, and, I did that. Looks great. Oh, and I decided the face was boring, so I added eyebrow dents. And then, of course, you got to add, you know, the stitched together teddy bear stitches. And then... So, I don't want to give away too much about the game, but in this current, they have to find items, and the items just happen to be stitched inside of the creepy teddy bear puppy rabbit, okay? So I decided I couldn't really tell what was going on their torsos, but if I like made it look like they were cut open and then stapled back together, I thought, creepy. And plus I got to do this, which was really fun. I can't explain it. It was just fun. I liked it. Yeah. I thought about making more stuffing pop out, but then honestly, I kind of forgot about it and I got distracted. It's fine. It looks cool like that, though. I'm totally happy with that. Yeah. twisted armature wire, head, voila. And of course, this is a puppy dog, so we need some really super long ears. Yeah, dangling ears. Like, he looks worn out. Poor guy. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had a few stuffed animals that looked like that after I got done playing with them. Sure of it. Scratchy tool. Yeah. Yeah. Poke those leg holes. It's easier later when you add the legs, you know. Poke them in there. And scratchy them. Then shove them in there. Yep. Looks great. Now, what I don't show you, but I did do, was I did brush each of them down with alcohol, because after you use that scratchy tool, you get a lot of like little, I don't know, little tiny bits. Oh, creepy bunny. See, creepy bunny. Yeah, this one is the creepiest. But again, I can't really see him in the dark, so I just kind of made some stuff up. Anyways, so yeah, the scratchy tool makes little tiny beads of clay. It's messy. So going over it and brushing it with isopropyl alcohol, I think it's got to like be 91% or higher or something like that, gets rid of all that stuff. Yeah. Yep. And I can't remember where. I think I learned that from north of the border, but I'm not entirely positive. So I did learn wormy dealies, though, which is what I've just added to the rabbit's face. Lots of wormy dealies. And then you just, you use the little circly thing and then you smooth it out. And now he has like these buck teeth. So I used toothpicks. They're like the flat toothpicks, not the round ones. That wouldn't have made sense. So, yeah, I cut those, and then I shoved them in there. Yeah. And then some eyeballs. I mean, look at that face with the wrinkles and the rolls. Yeah, it's creepy. And then for this torso, I decided that it was boring, so I put more clay on there because I don't know, I thought it would be better. It's experimenting, guys. It's fun. I like it. I like to experiment. Yeah. And then, of course, we got to do the cool, like, cut it open thing. Yeah. Make it look creepy. Yeah. It was fun. I loved that part. That was my favorite part. And then staples. Which, again, gardening wire. I use gardening wire a lot. And I use it later, too. Because I make a jack-in-the-box. You'll see. I make a lot of toys in this. A lot of toys. This is a long video. And I appreciate that you're here with me. So thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. And I hope you stay. All right, bunny rabbit. So, yep, placing the ears on. And then I did realize when I was doing the second ear, like I could barely tell in the dark, but like the ear was ripped off. So I ripped it with my fingers. Sorry, it was blurry. And then scratchy, and then I shoved it on there. And then I put my head in the way so you couldn't see anything. But look, it's done. Yeah, looks great and creepy, and he's my favorite. All right, so we're just gonna take a little break from sculpting, and we're gonna play with some garbage. So these are the little things. Okay, well, we're making that. We're making the wheelchair, guys. We're making a wheelchair. But these little plastic doohickeys, when I order my son Legos, the Legos come in that, and then you twist them out. Anyways, so I learned that if you heat them up, just like a little bit with the lighter, not so much that you melt it, just heat it a little bit, you can angle them better. So I did that with a bunch of them. It takes a lot of time to cut all the bits and pieces off of these and sand them really well, and then heat them up to get the angles correct. But as long as you have a good detailed picture or instructions you're following, it's totally doable. See, I'm building the frame for my wheelchair. Yep, building the frame. And some of the angles needed to be 90, some of them needed to be whatever that angle was that, I don't know. 120. Just guessing. Yeah. Yeah. And because I literally couldn't see much of what was going on in the picture, I'm mostly guessing on the frame. I just created my own thing. I did my own thing. It's fine. And it looks great in the end. So, yep. Super glue. Start putting the pieces together. Yeah. And I also, so originally I was going to make all the wheels out of clay. But then I was literally walking through the yard, and my son has a bunch of toys out there, most of which are broken and discarded and abandoned. There's literally an abandoned toy pile in my yard. And sometimes I go through it and see if there's anything I can use. Well, I found something. Gold, actually. And you're going to see here in a minute. I found gold. Well, not like actual gold, but like these guys, these wheels, I found those. And they came from that toy. I know where they came from. But it was broken and unusable. So, well, it was a good day for me. And it just so happened that they were the perfect size. So, yay. Here we are. But I still got to create there's a lot of wheels on a wheelchair. You got the main wheel, and then you got the outside wheel, and then you got the little wheels on the front. And so I didn't know how else to make them. So I drew them out on parchment paper, and then I used the clay and then the little armature wire to make the spokes, and then threw it in the oven. And it worked. I mean, they weren't perfect, but they weren't awful either. Oh, and those are the mechanical pencil bits. Yeah. My kids break their mechanical pencils a lot. And then I just take them apart, and you use the inside bits, where you put the lead. And they make great bits for things. Especially wheelchair wheels. So, just saying, in case you were wondering. Yep. So here we are. We're gluing all of our wheels on. And now it's coming together. You see all them wheels? Yeah. It's coming together. It's starting to look like a real legit wheelchair. Yeah. And then I painted it a little bit. Yeah. I needed it. Yeah. Looks great. Okay. So now we're making the seats in like the back. And so I'm just using, it's a shop towel. Just a regular, good old shop. You could use just about any kind of paper towel. I mean, not the ones with the shapes and like the little weird stuff on them. I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, for some instances, I think that would be cool. But I like shop towels because they're smooth and you still get a cool texture. So, yeah. I just folded them where they needed to be, and then I Mod Podged them and glued them together. And, yeah, as you can see, yeah. And I did go through and add a little bit more Mod Podge that I didn't show you. But, yeah, wasn't that much. It's just a little bit. And then these little wood pieces, for the feet things. And then more on the side. And, yeah. And it looks awful right now, but when you paint it, it all comes together. It does. It all comes. See? Look at it. Looking like a wheelchair. Time to paint it. Yeah. See? You can see all that texture that it leaves behind. Now, I really also like, just throwing it out there, Viva Light Cloth paper towels. That's literally what they're called. Viva Light Cloth paper towels. They're amazing too. Just so you know, I've used those to make clothes that hang in closets and stuff. And like other things. Great stuff. But I didn't have any. So expensive shop towels. Here we go. Adding a little dry brushing to make it look old and creepy. Yeah. And now that's done. Yeah, we're moving on. We're gonna make furniture now. Yeah. We have to have a place to store all of our toys. Absolutely. And I'm just using balsa wood here, guys. Oh, see, that's the one we're making. We're making that one over there in the back corner. But yeah, I'm just using balsa wood, guys. And I'm going to try to remember to put a link in the description for Amazon, which is where I actually buy it. And you can get a lot for it's really pretty cheap. And I like the balsa wood because it's super soft and it's super easy to work with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, and tacky glue. We're using some tacky glue. Just want to let you know. Yeah. And I'm using cardstock paper once again for templates because they make my life easier. And, I mean, what's not to like about that? Yeah. So yeah, I get to this point, and then I decide I better add some texture because it's going to be hard to get to. So I just use my little clay scratchy tool, which honestly you can use a wire brush too. But some of the areas were hard to get into with a wire brush. I even scratchy the cardstock because I'm that person. And I did scratchy all my shelves before I put them in there too. Yeah. I mean, this video ends up being really long, so I had to cut a lot, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because I think you would be bored. Hell, you might be bored now. Hope not. So now we're adding, we're adding all that stuff. Trim. It's called trim. And it hides all the unsightly seams that we do not want to see. Don't know if you know this, but I worked at a cabinet shop once. I'm pretty sure I say that in every single one of my videos. But yeah, looks great. All right, we're going to do some sanding. Make sure those edges are nice and rounded. Yeah, you don't want any sharp edges. It's a kid's playroom, right? Danger. And then we're going to do some more trimming. Unsightly seams. And then I cut the doors, and then I sanded the doors, and then I ended up gluing the doors on, but I didn't show you that part, really. I mean, this is, yeah, so it's done. And then these little knobbies are wood beads that I shoved toothpicks inside of. Yeah. And now we're gluing it together, and voila. Our first piece of furniture is complete. And because I didn't want to go through all of that again, I'm showing you, yeah, that's the second piece that I needed to make. And it pretty much made it exactly how I made the other one. Yeah. And I trimmed it out, make it look all, nice and stuff. Looks great. Yep. Okay. Now we're moving on. We're going to make, it's a bench. We're making a bench. We're making that bench. Yeah. It's kind of a decorative bench. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and we got to cut these little holes out, which that's the one thing about balsa wood that kind of sucks. When you got to do stuff like that, you got to be really careful because it will literally just break so easy. So you just super delicate, and then just do your best, and then just lots of sanding. Voila, looking great. All right, now we're using my Lego straight 90 to make sure that I glue everything on there perfectly. Yep, looks great. And then we sand those edges, no sharp edges, kids' playroom. And now we've moved on. And now we're making the round table, which is kind of like the centerpiece of the room. I mean, if you think about it, it's the centerpiece. So it needed to be done right, and I wanted it to look legit. And every round table has a square table hiding underneath of it. I don't know if you knew that, but it's true. Yep, look at that. Oh, we're going to make a chair too. So cut these rounds out, and I wanted it to be thick, and I'm all out of super thick balsa wood, so I decided to glue these two pieces together, right? And I thought, okay, this will work. Yeah, except for I used hot glue. And guess what happened? Yeah, I had these unsightly seams all the way on the side. So then I had to use plastic wood to fill the unsightly seams. It was a process. I should have just used, I don't know, wood glue, maybe? Yeah, but you got to be careful with that sometimes because it'll warp. So, whatever. It worked out. It looks nice now. It was a little extra work, but yay. It's a round table on a square table. Looks great. Now we're going to make a chair. Yep. And guys, I know I'm not explaining to you all that went into the planning of this, but I spend a lot of time drawing and measuring things out. I don't just willy-nilly start cutting things and throwing it together. It might look like that, but no. I put a lot of thought into it, and I'm always making sure, okay, is the chair going to be the right, height for the table? Is the bench going to be the right height? All of those things, and you gotta, your little people matter too, because they gotta be the right height so it doesn't look dumb. Okay, just saying. I don't show you that, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it. Okay, now we're back to sculpting, and I'm showing you all the ducks. There's lots of toy ducks. So I made a lot of toy ducks, but I only show you one toy duck because it got really repetitive, and I just didn't think you'd appreciate it. So here we are, looking great. Toy duck, complete. Yep. Now what are we doing? What's next? Ooh, creepy baby doll. Okay, so there is this shelf in the back, and I think I'm going to throw up a picture, but see, shelf. I can't tell what's up there. I have no idea what's there. And so I just decided that I was going to make some stuff up. And so I thought I wanted to make a creepy baby doll. So that's what I did. I also made one of the little tiny gnomes. You'll see. But I decided creepy baby doll needed to have its stomach ripped open, which, in hindsight, looking back, kind of evil. But I mean, that's the whole point of the game, right? It was all evil and creepy. So, and it only has like 4 fingers, but it's fine. It's fine. Yep. Creepy baby doll. Oh, and we had to add a staple. Yeah. Something. It's like an alien popped out or something. I don't know. Use your imagination. Looks great. Okay. And this is the little gnome guy. He's just sitting up there twiddling his toes. And so the gnome is actually from the first game. The first game had a bunch of little gnomes. So I decided, throwback. And I had to fill up some space, and I couldn't tell what was there. Okay, so moving on. Now we are making we're struggling. But, we're using some gardening wire, and we're going to make the Jack-in-the-Box. Yeah, see, check them out. And I decided to use clay to make the box. I was actually going to use foam. But then the logistics of the whole thing just wasn't working. It needed to be heavier to hold the head. So, yeah, I ended up using clay, which worked great. It was fine. Just kind of dig a hole. And, I mean, it's not a legit Jack-in-the-Box, because if it was, there would be like a lid popped open. And I don't know what happened. I guess I just got lazy. So I just mainly wanted to make the head popping out. I was hyper focused on that, and I was also hyper focused on his top hat because I thought it was really cute. Yeah, and and the neck, the neck that's on there. Yeah, that goes away later because it didn't work. But I didn't show you that part. But here's the crank handle. Got to have a handle crank. Yep, looking great. Okay, so we bake it, and that's pretty much done. Yeah. Okay, moving on. So I had to make a lot of books. There's a lot of books. See, books, and they're like stacked up, above, everywhere. There's books. So I decided to make them out of foam. And then I took a razor and I tried to, carve it out and make it look like it was a book. And then I did a lot of that to make pages and did lots of that. Lots. And I made lots of books. That's not all of them. I made much more. And then I used the foam to also make the little toy cars. There's like a couple of toy cars that are sitting in the toy shelf, toy bookshelf. See? Yeah, cute, adorable. All out of foam. Yep. Yeah, those were super easy. Yeah. Oh, and then the blocks. Got lots of blocks. See, lots of blocks. So I used my foam cutter to get perfect squares. I did not show you that part, but I did. I used a foam cutter. I did not cut those by hand. Foam cutter. That's the only cheat that I have, okay? And then I covered everything with Mod Podge and dirty paint water because it's easier to paint later on when it's done like that. Okay, so now I'm just giving you an idea of all the things I made. See? Look at all my ducks. Oh, and that's one of them spinny top toys. I don't know what that is, but I made 2 of them. And then there's the gnome, and then one more duck, and then the little monkey toys, that claps his hand and makes noise. And then there's a Jack-in-the-Box all completed. Oh, and a couple balls. Yeah. Oh, and there's mono. Yeah, we know about and 6. Yeah. Oh, and that thing, whatever that is. Okay, that's all done. Time to prime. So primed pretty much all of the toys and books with like a dark gray. Some of them look almost black. And then all like the woodeny looking toys, I did a dark brown. And mono got a little bit of both. Yep. 6-2. Yep. All right. I've rambled enough. We're going to do a painting montage. Absolutely. Okay. Enjoy. I'll be back. Well, that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. And FYI, that was indeed an oil wash that I put on everything. Just had to make it a little bit dirty, a little bit grungy. Gringy. That's not a word. Grungy is, though. Pretty sure. Now I'm second guessing myself. Anyway, so now we've moved on. I'm making a door. Now we're building the room. We got all the little tiny, for the most part, little tiny details done. And so now we need to build the playroom. And we started here with this nice door made of balsa wood and a wooden bead for the door handle. And I am using particle board. Yeah. Usually I use cardboard, but I didn't have any. Not any good stuff anyways. It's been a while since I've been able to order anything off of Amazon. So, yeah, that's all right. I have a lot of this particle board sitting around. So I literally cut it with my table saw. But it works great. So, yeah. So here we are. We're painting. I obviously did a bunch of stuff, and now I'm painting it. This is just one wall. Obviously, there will be 3 walls and a floor. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so I primed it with a nice dark color, and now we're going to add wallpaper. Yes, wallpaper in the form of a shop paper towel and Mod Podge and water. Yep. And I took, obviously, you saw me do it, but the shop towel, you can split it. It's 2-ply, so you can, like, split it in half, and it serves 2 purposes. It makes it really thin and easier to work with, and also it's, like, you get more bang for your buck, because shop towels are kind of expensive. Yeah, they are. Viva Light cloth paper towels would be might even be my first choice, but I don't have any. So just working with what I've got. Yep. So we're kind of fixing it on there with some glue and water, and then I'm just tearing at it. Just tearing little bits and pieces off because it's supposed to look old and decrepit and, like, creepy. Yeah. Not well maintained. Okay? Yeah. So this is the back wall, and I'm just doing the same thing. Just doing the same thing, just tearing it up. And also you can see the seams. So I wanted to make sure you could see the seams. Yeah. And so then I painted it this, like, weird, like, greenish, bluish, weirdish color. I could probably never make the color again, but I did mix it by hand. I don't know what color it is. It just felt like the right color. Okay? So painted that on there, and door was green. So we painted that. Yep, painted that on there. Yeah, it was like a avocado-y green. Yeah, did that. That's done. And then I added more trim, like baseboard for the bottom, and then the whatever it's called that goes on the top. It's not called trim. Is it called trim? I don't know. Whatever. I added it to all the walls. This is the floor. So here we are. Particle board. I'm taking a wire brushy thingy, and I'm messing it up a little bit because I didn't want it to be too smooth. I felt like it needed to just have just a tiny bit of texture. Yeah. And I started with this dark gray, grayish, bluish, steelish color. And then I took this wonderful sponge, and I added a lot of different colors everywhere. It was kind of therapeutic. I'm not going to lie. I kind of enjoyed it. It's like almost like I couldn't overdo it. I mean, it seemed like that at the time, but I probably could have overdone it. Hell, maybe I did. I don't know. But in the end, I wanted it to look like concrete, and I thought I did an okay job at concrete. Yep. So now we're going back, and we're going to dry brush all of our, our walls, and then add some highlights to where I wanted it to look like the wallpaper had been torn back, because I wanted it to pop. I wanted your eye to be drawn to all of the damage. So that's what we did there. And then I went back and added some darker colors to, you know, the wall behind it. Yeah. We dry brushed the door too. Yeah. Dry brushed all of the trim, everything. Dry brushed it all. Yeah, it looks great. I really think it looks great. Yep. I think I'm going to show you another one. Yeah. So some more dry brushing. Yeah. And that's like a dry brush. You can't see it. I wish I could show it to you, but it's moving too fast. You use one of them real fluffy brushes to do that. And then when you want to go back and do like the lighter detail on the wallpaper, then I just use a tiny brush. Yeah, to do that. Yeah. Yeah, this part was really fun. I enjoyed it. And I think it looks really legit. And then going back and adding those shadows back onto the wall, because of course when you dry brush, you screw it all up. So then you got to go back and fix it. I mean, it's a process. Okay, it's a process. All right, so now guys, we're making a rug. We're making that rug. Dun dun dun. Yeah, we're making a rug. And I started with some cardstock paper, and imagine that, a shop towel. Now I think I left the shop towel. I didn't peel it in half. I don't think, no, because I wanted it fluffy. Yeah, we need a sort of fluffy. I mean, whatever. And then and painted it, and then we painted it. Yeah. And it wasn't completely saturated in Mod Podge. It was still somewhat paper towel-y. It's hard to explain. Just, I didn't add a ton of Mod Podge. It was still kind of paper towel-y. Yeah, that's the best I can do, guys. And yeah, you can add tape. You can put tape on it, once it's dry, and that's how you get the perfect little lines. Yeah, we did a little brown around the outside, and then we went back and we added some cool detail. Yeah, I've made rugs before. I mean, I'm sure you could tell. I'm kind of like really good at it now. So there's that. Oh, wow. Turned out great, though, I thought. I mean, it's time. It's time to glue stuff together. And I started with the back wall. Yeah, look how good that looks. Yeah. And then I did the sides. Yeah. Some more of that. Now, this is the time where I get to show you every little tiny detail that I've made. And you get to see it all together. There's our creepy bear, rabbit, puppy combo. Ducks, trucks, cars, more ducks. Weird baby screaming. More ducks. Spinny thing. Love the spinny thing. Monkey, and creepy baby. And gnome. And I don't know what that is. And balls. We got balls. We got 6 carrying toys. And we got Mono. Mono looks great. Oh, and those. Yep. Oh, and look at all the books. Oh, look. There's a wheelchair. Yeah, that happened. Oh, and then I made that thing with books. And that's a shelf. Yeah, I'm going to hang that later. And there's our bench. We got a chair. Yeah. We got that thing. And then we got that one there. And then there's a rug. And then we got a table. Oh, and I made some crayons out of toothpicks. And then, oh, yeah, all the kids' artwork. Yeah, I made all that too. Oh, and that's going to be the lamp that hangs down. I think, yeah, that was it. Yeah. See, it's a lot when it's all piled up together. But now we get to watch this part, which is my favorite part, when everything comes together. It's the best. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it just looks great. Yep. Oh. And I tried to position everything exactly the way that I could see it in the game, obviously. I mean, yeah. And yeah, look at that. I love it. I love my little Jack-in-the-Box dude with his head poking out. It's perfect. Yeah, that makes me happy. Now it's time for the rug, which was, I definitely had to use a lot of hot glue to make that thing stay down. Yeah. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It did not want to stick to the concrete. And then we got the center of attention, chair, bench, duck. There we are, crayons. And creepy puppy. Oh, and I did put stuffing in his head, and I forgot to show you that. Creepy bunny. Wheelchair. With a box and books. And monkey. More wooden blocks. And artwork. I really tried hard to match all of the artwork that I could see in the game. So, I know, obsessed with detail much? Absolutely. Have you met me? Now you have. Ah, look at all that. Looks great. Yep. Couple more things. Oh yeah, we still gotta hang the light. Never mind. We're not done yet. Sorry. I didn't mean to get you excited. I know. You thought it's finally over. Not yet. We got a few more minutes here. It's close though, guys. So again, like the little diorama one I did before, I didn't want to put a roof on it. So I did these beams to act as the ceiling, and I needed a way to mount the light. So the beams were it was perfect. And so here's our light, and I ran the little light through, and then I used the straw to hide the wires and make it look more industrial. Because it's a school, right? It's a playroom in a school, right? Yeah, that's what it is. So, and then, yeah, you do that, and then, bam. Just like, yeah, look at that. It's fantastic. Do the other one, too. Yay, that's done. That was fast. And 9-volt battery. I get those off of Amazon. Maybe I'll put it in the link. Hey, and it works, too. See, even better. And then I just hot glued that straw on there. I did have to do some touching up on the paint on the straw, because straws don't like paint. They just don't. So, and here we go. Final touches. Mono. And 6. Carrying her toy. That's it, guys. All right. I'm going to let you enjoy this. I will be back. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. That is the end. The end. If you're new and you enjoyed it and you stayed till the end, then please subscribe. If you're new and you didn't enjoy it, yet you still stayed to the end, please subscribe. Because why are you still here? Anyways, guys, thanks again. I so totally appreciate all of you. You're the reason I keep doing it. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.